What is the future of Medicare, and how will Congress manage the funding shortfall? That is the subject of this video. Welcome to another episode of the Financial Fast Lane. My name is Lane Martinson. Today, I have a special guest, Keith Albrecht. We're talking about the future of Medicare, and will Medicare survive in our ever-changing world? So Keith, welcome. It's good to have you on as a guest today.
Thanks, Lane, and thanks for having me back. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about Medicare whenever I can.
Yeah. Well, Keith, there's a new bill that's getting kicked around in Congress, and there's an unusual amount of spending and proposed spending, and there's some problems, right, with shortfalls with Medicare. And so tell us a little bit about, I know you're dealing with Medicare all the time, every day, and so tell us kind of what's on your mind.
So obviously, Lane, with Medicare, it's been around for a long time, and it was started back in the 60s, designed really to take care of people when they retire into their 60s and 70s and so forth, and to provide affordable health insurance is basically what it's designed for. And right now, more than 63 million people are on Medicare. So a significant part of the population currently on Medicare. And a lot of people don't realize that 10,000 people a day turn 65. So a huge chunk every single day become Medicare eligible. So it's important kind of to understand how the funding works and where the challenges are when it comes time, to pay the bills. And the way Medicare functions is broken down into two trust funds. So you have a hospital trust fund and you have a medical insurance trust fund, and they're paid completely differently. So the way Medicare is funded, it's important to understand exactly how the money goes into it, so that when the challenges come around, we can understand things that Congress is talking about. And Medicare funding is broken down into two different trust funds. One of them is a hospital trust fund, which is funded by payroll taxes, income tax on Social Security benefits, interest, and Medicare Part A premiums. And not a whole lot of people pay Part A premiums. So it's really those payroll taxes that you've paid your entire life into that trust fund. And then there's a medical trust fund that is funded by Part B premium. So when you come into Medicare, you're going to have a Part B premium. So you're kind of paying for that part of it as it goes. So it's important to understand how those two things function. And when you look at the two different sides, that's Medicare Part A and Medicare Part B. Medicare Part A covers stuff that happens in the hospital. Part B covers stuff that happens outside the hospital. So that's just kind of how they are put together. And what is concerning with it is that the Congressional Budget Office, the one that kind of moderates all things in politics, project that it's going to run out of money in 2024. And the Medicare trustee report projects it's going to run out of money in 2026. So somewhere between 2024 and 2026, Medicare at this point is going to run out of funds. So obviously it's happened many times in the past, and Congress at the last minute has to do something about it. But right now it's a little more concerning than what it's been in the past. And that's kind of where this chart comes into play. So this chart looks a little hard to understand, but really what that line shows, wherever that line is how many years until Medicare runs out of money. And you can see it runs all over the gamut from a short time to quite a long time. But right now at 2020 is the shortest time that it's ever been. So we are right now faced with the shortest period of time within the history of Medicare from when it will run out of money. So kind of concerning to look at something like that. What you generally find is Congress comes together at some point and figures things out. So the way for them to solidify it again, that hospital trust fund, the one way they can do it is by chunking in $700 billion. So they would have to get together and agree to put another $700 billion into Medicare, which would push that timeline then off to about 2036. So that's usually what happens. But the issue now is with all the other money that's about to be spent, will they have that 700 billion to be able to put into Medicare when they're proposing the 3.5 trillion on the infrastructure side? The other way that they can shore that up is cut the benefits. So they can lower the benefits that we receive on Medicare. And then finally, they can increase the monthly premiums. So in other words, they can lower our benefits and increase our cost in order to offset that $700 billion hole that's coming. So it's a concerning factor for sure.
Yeah, so we know that I've been talking about the risk of taxes being higher in retirement for many years, trying to warn and help people to prepare. We recommend Roth conversions and getting money positioned because for this reason and many others, it's very, very likely that taxes are going to be higher in the future. A lot of the retirement accounts, most of them are all tax deferred. Deferred until when? Later in retirement. And you're going to be taxed at whatever the future tax rates happen to be. And so you got a variable, right? There's a variable on your retirement accounts. You don't know how much you're going to be able to spend because you don't know how much future tax rates will be. So this is certainly an exclamation mark on getting serious about tax planning.
Right. And to even compound things, the contradiction that's going on in Washington right now, with this massive deficit in Medicare and it needing another $700 billion, where they're not talking about how they're going to do that. They're actually talking about expanding Medicare. So in the bill that they are currently proposing, they are proposing lowering the eligibility age to age 60, which would absolutely be terrific. The issue becomes the funding. How is it going to be paid for? And it's funny because in my world where Medicare is an everyday topic and things like dental, vision, and hearing are also an everyday topic, to hear Chuck Schumer all of a sudden talking about dental, vision, and hearing and how they want to include it as part of Medicare, which again would be a fantastic thing. But there's cost to it. So it has to be figured out, where it will pay for itself. And there's either government putting in money, lowering the benefits to the beneficiaries, or raising the premiums to everybody that's on Medicare currently.
So Keith, you have an ebook on Medicare, I believe, that you have available. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I appreciate being here, and I'm happy to help with any parts of Medicare that folks need help with. And certainly when you're brand new to it, you need a lot of help. And something that you'd find very helpful is if you want to download a copy of my book, Medicare Made Clear. I give it away for free. If you're anywhere near Medicare, or if you're already in Medicare, you'll find it very helpful. You'll see I cover just about every piece of Medicare in the book. And in the book, there's actually videos where I explain it to you, so you don't have to actually read through all the material. And it also has all the links and things you need for signing up and stuff you'll need in the future. So it's a great thing to have on your computer or your iPad. You can just go to medicareonvideo.com/free book, and you can download it right now, and it's yours to keep. I hope you find it very helpful.
All right, thanks. I'll put a link below as well so people can access that easily. So Keith, I want to thank you very much. Appreciate you. There is certainly a lot to be concerned about when we think about retirement planning. Retirement planning, we have to be forward-looking. As we plan, we kind of have to identify what are some of these storms, what are some of the pitfalls or the dangers that we may face in retirement that could threaten our assets, could deplete through increasing taxes, and there's a whole host of things that we try to address with a good retirement plan. So, and Medicare and healthcare is a huge part of that, and there's certainly a lot to be concerned about with that. So thank you very much. So in summary, Medicare and Social Security both face funding shortfalls. I believe that the American people are going to expect Congress to solve some of these problems, but the likelihood that taxes will remain historically low as they are today is very unlikely. And so I think you need to have good Medicare and healthcare strategies, but you really need to focus on your tax strategies within your retirement accounts. There are strategies and there are ways to protect assets from future taxes, whether we're talking Roth conversions or there's some ways to accomplish it with real estate. There's some ways to accomplish it with life insurance. So there's different strategies and ways. They're all legal and ethical, but it takes good planning. So I hope you found value in this episode of the Financial Fast Lane, and I look forward to seeing you next time.